30 love. Forty love.
No mucking around there. Very quick opening service game for Hurkacz.
First game.
That's what he can do, win service games quickly and then go around the other end and start to pressure your opponent.
In 2023, he held serve just about as well as anybody did, Hubert Hurkacz. He was #4 on tour. And that's a big part of the reason that he is as good as he is. He is tough to break. And no trouble in the opening game there. Todd, who's going to win this thing? What do you think?
Well, this is what the win predictor says, 70-30 to Hubert Hurkacz. I'm not so sure that I always agree with the percentages in that, but I would agree. I think that Hurkacz is the favourite here today in these types of conditions. Interesting that it would be 70-30, yet Davidovich Fokina leads the head-to-head 3-2.
Yeah, and they've only played 2 of those 5 meetings on hard courts, and Davidovich has won both of those back in 2020 and 2021. So Hurkacz has improved since then. I do agree. I think he's the favorite here.
Love 15.
Some of the win predictor statistical data is based upon obviously more recent form across the tour, and if you look at Davidovich Fokina over the last 4 or 5 months, it was a little lean. But what he did get by not having a great back end of season was some time off. He talked about that on the opening day here when he had his victory. He has had a chance to get fresh. Fresh and focused, reset goals, and that can make a big difference, particularly if you've been a little flat at the end of a season. Has very good shape on the forehand. Davidovich Fokina has that ability to have a solid ball strike, and then also, without really being able to tell with the same swing, he can get a bit of extra pop on the ball. Doesn't tend to flatten it out to get that. He just gets more racket head speed, so that ball really bites and jumps off the court. Trademark of his to have the odd socks, Jim.
So if you're looking at Alejandro for the first time this season, you might notice that he has a different clothing manufacturer. He was with Diadora for many, many years, now with Adidas, but he has not abandoned his trademark of the alternating colors of socks, the wristband high on the arm. He's got a lot of flair. There's no question about it. He is a stylish Spaniard.
He gets a hold of serve. See, I would have thought stylish.
1 game all for sets.
Well, I thought stylish was to tuck your shirt in, be precise, prim, proper. I didn't realize that that was the way to
Maybe
go.
back in your day, Todd, it was.
Don't even think it was then.
I think you got to get with the times. Check in with your kids and see what they think
That's when
stylish.
Paddy Rafter turned up with a little ponytail. What are you doing?
I think style is in the eye of the beholder. Oh, that is stylish. That is a smackdown two-hander.
Love 15.
Talking about Paddy Rafter, and as we take a look at this.
Do we have to?
Yeah, just
No,
quickly
we love
though.
Pat. Hey, Pat, Happy New Year.
Is that, of course, here in Australia, there's an Australian Tennis Hall of Fame, and if you get inducted into that, you get a bronze bust of yourself to go into Garden Square at Melbourne Park.
Yeah, I've seen yours.
And
Humble
yes.
brag.
I wasn't talking about myself. So Pat went with, you know, what he thought was his iconic, which is the ponytail. And we're all interested to see what gets unveiled at the Australian Open this year when Leighton Hewitt gets inducted. Whether he goes with the cap backwards. So I don't think he can give it the come on. He's not. You don't get arms on your bust. You just get the shoulders up to the
That's
head.
too bad.
Yeah, but does he go cap backwards? We will find out.
Does he go mullet? Came out with that early on. So.
He did.
Yeah.
All right.
Hurkacz goes with another ace. Just the first of the match, but he's had plenty. Over 1,000 last season.
14-15.
And in his last singles match, Hurkacz, he actually hit 10 aces. So certainly a weapon for him that he loves to use and can rely on too.
And another very quick service game for Hurkacz, and it is 2-1 opening set here on day 4 of the United Cup in Perth.
Team Podman, 2 games to 1.
Oof. Hurkacz is one of the best at holding serve in men's tennis, but he's one of the worst at breaking serve. He finished in 2022, he was 70th on tour at breaking serve and number 71 last year. And for a guy who's top 10 in the world, that's certainly an area where he can focus on and get some improvement. And I think he and Craig Boyton are gonna spend some time trying to make that happen this season. That's the way forward for him. It'd be hard for him to hold at a much higher rate than he does, but he can break significantly more, Todd, I think. How might he go about doing that?
Well, I would suggest that that type of point that he then comes out and plays like that actually plays his opponent into a bit of form in the match. They get used to the rhythm and they're not so worried about not being able to break. I know from experience that when you play it against a server like Hubie, that when they serve quickly, if they come out and are a little, for a better word, erratic and pressure building with their style on your serve, and you don't give you any rhythm, it is very hard to play against.
What you're describing to me is something that we both experienced the wrath of, which is the game style of Pete Sampras.
Yeah. Yeah,
Who held serve very quickly and then would spray balls. You would hold serve, both of us, at love a lot.
Yeah.
Until
get to 4 or 5 all.
And then you'd make a couple of returns and then you're dust.
And then you're like, hang on, you haven't hit a ball in court, and then you're not ready for it.
Yep.
Whereas Hubie goes about trying to roll a lot of balls in, and that will give comfort on a match like today to Davidovich Fokina, and that's when you look at their head-to-head, he leads 3-2, and in matches where, you know, on grass at Wimbledon, that he could win a 5-setter that way.
Well, Hurkacz is very similar in style to Sasha Zverev. Both tall men with great serves who have a more defensive posture once they get into rallies, much more comfortable playing the shock absorber than being the aggressor. And it's just not in the nature of their game's personalities to be aggressive once they're in a neutral baseline rally. And perhaps Hubie could adapt a little bit more aggression. Perhaps that would lead to more success, but it's hard to change your stripes.
Well, I think the word that you used there, personality. It's very hard to change your personality. Hubie's a lovely, calm-natured guy when you get to talk to him. He's just very humble, and his nature to be in your face in that type of a game style, that's not him. So you got to change two things.
Yeah. How'd you change your personality from the court to being such a nice guy now?
It's called schizophrenia.
Legs for serve.
He had to turn his mic off there.
I appreciate the honesty, but yeah, I nearly had a breakdown. No one's a breakdown here, though, on serve, 2-all.
Fifteen love.
Good ball, Hubie.
Oh. Little unlucky. So it's going to be tough overhead, though, to pluck that one out of the air.
15.
And the let cord gives Davidovich time to be able to choose whatever pass he wanted here.
Thirty, 15.
Some good ball striking going up.
Absolutely, Todd. I was just about to mention the court positioning from the two players. Hurkacz, you've both touched on, stays back, likes to get the balls back in play. However, Davidovich Fokina, he is so aggressive. He stays tight on that baseline, takes the ball early, and just the clearance over the net on his ground strokes are a lot lower over the net than Hurkacz. I mean, that was a completely different point from Hurkacz. He was the aggressor and almost forcing the error from Davidovich Fokina.
There's the hold of serve. And we remain on serve in this opening set between Team Poland and Team Spain, 3-2. Well, we have visited some beautiful parts of Western Australia in our 4 days here, and this is not far from the CBD of Perth, just about 20 minutes from the downtown. This is Cottesloe Beach, and it is superb. You go from Cottesloe to Scarborough. These beaches are great for swimming. They've got some wonderful cafes, and one of the famous ones at Cottesloe is the Indiana Tea House. And if you look straight out to the ocean there, about 19 kilometres offshore, is Rottnest Island, where you can go out and swim, stay, some magnificent food. And we have had superb summer weather since we've arrived here in Perth, Jim.
My first time here, it's been wonderful to finally get a chance to visit a city I've heard a lot about from all of our tennis family that have experienced it over the years. Some
You should,
Team Poland
I know you haven't
fans
been out
enjoying
there
it.
yet and haven't really had the time, but get out to the beaches there. It's beautiful. It's well worth it. It's just a quick ride, 15, 20 minutes. Get transport to drop you out there, go for a dip.
Time. Love.
Well, both players so far being able to comfortably hold serve.
Hugo.
Makes such a difference when you've got a match under your belt too. You can see both these guys just that little sharper today than in their opening matches. That comes with a bit of confidence too.
Both of them with the win over the #1 player from Team Brazil, Thiago Sebote. So good way to start their seasons, and competition certainly ratcheting up a notch here today for them.
Lovely ball striking. And a hold to serve for Spain.
3 games all for set.
Well, at the moment over here, well, down here courtside, it seems as if Davidovich Fokina is a lot more confident off that backhand side, especially when he's end of range. Sometimes Hubert Hurkacz is a little bit on the back foot and probably doesn't get enough rotation on that backhand side to let that ball dip in.
Good footwork there from Hurkacz to get up and get a lot of topspin on that forehand. His forehand can falter at times when the pressure mounts. Both of these players, Bojana, I think, have more trust in their backhands at crunch time.
There's no answer to that serve, is there? It's so short, wide. To left yesterday if you're going to get a racket on that.
(30-15).
3 aces and just the 1 double fault for Hurkacz. Some players, if they have a ratio of 3 aces for every double fault, that is phenomenal. For Hurkacz, that would be awful. He's 10 aces for every double fault on average last year. His second serve is very reliable, typically. I don't know of anyone who has a better ratio than that, Todd. That is, I mean, he had over 1,000 aces last year.
So 1,000 aces a season, what does that equate to, do you think, in just a basic ranking? Where would it put you, and how many dollars would it be worth if you could serve that in a season? If you get my drift.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably a top 50 player just on your serve alone.
Because it sets up short forehands like that can be dispatched, and that is another hold for Team Poland. Hurkacz 4-3 first set.
Team Poland lead 4 games to 3 first set. Time.
Come on, go get him, Tiger.
So it's been a tight opening set, if you like, by virtue of comfortable holds for both players. So Davidovich Fokina from Team Spain showing the new balls here, serving 3-4. Oh, catches it late for the clean winner.
Love 15.
Just tried to block it back. Racket was a little late to it here, you'll see. And off she goes. And that's the sort of point that I think he should be playing more often when he's in the return end of court, Hurkacz, Jim.
A good aggression there, going down the line with the backhand and then following it up with a down the line forehand and into the net, trying to take it to Davidovich Fokina rather than waiting him out, which hasn't paid off for him so far. This is the first real challenge to either server today. There has not been a break point yet.
And we've been talking about the return from Hurkacz and obviously an area to continue to work on.
13.
And in those first 2 points, he started the point with 2 fantastic backhands that allowed him to, well, obviously the first point was a winner, the second point allowed him to be aggressive, but then he had that opportunity at love 30, a second serve, and he decided just to chip it back. So Jim, is that an example of where Hurkacz can improve, just to be a bit more aggressive off that return?
Definitely. It's a mindset of, this is love 30, I'm going to try and sting you with my return. Stings him with that shot, and here come the first break points of the match.
15-14.
challenging for Davidovich Fokina, not only looking up into the sun on that side as a right-hander, but also trying to control these new balls. Not easy.
There's the break.
Team Poland lead 5 games to 3 for set.
Good aggressive return there from Hurkacz. Secures the break, and he has barely put a foot wrong when serving, has missed very few first serves and not been challenged so far today in that department. He is one of the best at holding serve in men's tennis. Needs one more of those to put the first set away. He's got a great first serve, but one thing that's also pretty difficult for players to handle is his second serve has gotten much more aggressive. He's got a monster kick if he wants it. So you just don't get that relief that you might get from someone with a great first serve who has an average second serve, because his is anything but.
Yeah, it hits the court and aggressively jumps forward at you, so it's hard to get a good strike on the ball. Yes, you can make it, but you don't hit it with the center of the racket. So then generally it would drop around the service line, and that allows him to attack even further. So 3 first serves and 3 set points. One save by Davidovich Fokina.
14-15.
Oops.
40-13.
It's the aggressive second serve you were talking about. Just doesn't quite get the spin on that one. Comes out of the racket quickly.
When he goes at the body, he tends to hit it a little bit harder, and perhaps with the new balls, it's a little bit more difficult to control. He just didn't quite get his target there. So 2 set points have come and gone. A little ray of hope for Team Spain.
Nicely played, though, on the third one from Hurkacz, and with a crisp volley. In 31 minutes, Team Poland have the opening set, 6-3. Well, it was a clean set from both players until the new balls came into play in that 8th game. As we take a look at the statistics and have a look at the first serve percentages from Hurkacz. It's going to be hard to break him when he serves at 85% of first serves into play, Jim. Unforced errors equal. And really comes down to that 8th game, the first 2 points of that game, where we spoke about how do you build pressure when you're playing someone like Hurkacz. Came out with 2 quick points. There it is, and then he remained very aggressive and positive throughout that game and serves it out.
Yep, it was very much like a Pete Sampras type set, where Davidovich Fokina wasn't actually even serving particularly well from a first serve percentage standpoint, but was holding very comfortably, and then lightning struck quickly in the 8th game. Hurkacz with that first return was spectacular, and then able to get into the net with pretty good effectiveness, won 80% of his net points. That was the return that really set the table in the 8th game. That was the first point and led to his opportunities to break, which he was able to secure, and that was all he needed.
Team Poland will be very pleased with that opening set. It was...
you did?
Where?
On the break point.
First serve?
Listen in here.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's the first time you did that in the air, huh?
Thanks, buddy.
Good, but hey, that's the way to go after it, though.
I kind of shanked it.
Time.
Then that's the way to shank it.
I wanted to hit the winner of the return.
He's just got this laconic personality, Hubie. No, you know, did I? I'm not sure. I don't remember.
His coach was trying to pump him up, saying that was a great return to get the break. He's like, you know, I kind of shanked it. His coach is like, good, great shank. Do that again. It is fun to have an opportunity to listen in to these discussions with the players and their captains and coaches. Captain of Team Spain is Jorge Aguirre. That is Alejandro's day-to-day coach. The #1 players do get an opportunity to select the captains, which is why Thomas Witkarowski, there's Jorge. Iga Świątek's coach is the captain of Team Poland.
And don't you find it fascinating just watching the players on the change events and how much either the team captain or their coach interacts with them? And sometimes you find a player that has the team captain and the coach providing so much feedback that almost looks overwhelming, and then someone like Hurkacz just sits there and takes it in. And whether he chooses to take that feedback on is completely up to him. But what are your thoughts in terms of how much feedback they get on the change events? How crucial is that in a match like this?
Well, you had me thinking, because I think in our next match, when the world #1 Iga Świątek comes out, she's completely different personality. I think she would want that feedback. You know, she's looking at notes at times when she's on the court. Feet are always going. She's jittery. And so you really, as a coach, you have to really understand your player well, don't you?
Yeah, we've seen the opposite end of that spectrum from Iga. You know, taking information on is a player like Taylor Fritz from America giving information. He's the one who is really providing information back to his team. It's just all, it's a really interesting window into the players and their personalities and how they process and deal with pressure.
Well, as a player, I loved this environment in Davis Cup because I could talk, and that got all of the issues out of my head. And I was able to talk tactics, and this is what we're doing, this is what they're doing. I thought it was great. I struggled when there was no one there. Another reason.
Mark Woodford's in therapy right now? Possibly.
True.
We kid. Oh, what a shot. That is brilliant at a crucial time. 30-all. With Hurkacz threatening to break this match wide open with an early break in the second. And Davidovich delivers a gem of a two-hander.
Flattens it out a little bit. Still had good height over the net, didn't it? Going down the line over the highest part. Has good, safe ground strokes, Davidovich Fokina. See, I like that play from Hurkacz because now it forces Davidovich Fokina within a rally to feel like he has to start to go for more. That will bring some unforced errors off the Spaniard.
Yeah, I've been waiting really for years now to see Hurkacz start to do more of this on his forehand side. He's very passive on this swing, typically the forehand. And I know Craig Boynton, his coach, wants him to be more aggressive, and he's tried to slowly but surely get him to take more chances on that side. But again, it's just not in his nature. But he came out of his shell there.
Another opportunity missed, I felt, there for Hurkacz in terms of the second serve return, just landing mid-court just behind that, so almost on that service line, allowing Davidovich Fokina just to, I guess, set himself up for that point, for that backhand winner.
He missed that one, but I'd have to think long and hard about who might have cleaner, simpler backhand technique than Davidovich Fokina, because it is a thing of beauty. Whoever his coach who developed that is deserves a medal. It is so simple, and it's a reason why he can trust it so much. Yes, you miss it from time to time. You have to push the envelope when you're playing the best players in the world, but my goodness, it is a shot that very rarely goes wrong.
There's a break point, though. No, I agree with you. We've had some vision up close occasionally where you see his hands on the racket too when he's actually gone cross court, and the right hand has it's very light. It's almost led by the left hand. And he really does have such a smooth delivery.
He sets it back so early, too, right? The racket is back. Once he sees the ball coming to his backhand, the right shoulder turns to the target. The racket is laid back. It is, unlike his forehand, which has got a lot more wrist action, which is standard and typical for more players. The backhand doesn't have a lot. He drives right through it. He's going to be driving to the bank to make deposits for a long time as a result of it.
Remember those days when you used to get the check and you'd have to go back and put it in the bank? Doesn't happen anymore. Don't make any checks. Okay, that was an important escape for Davidovich Fokina. A must-hold serve and saves a break point. He's changing ends. They'll go into the team zone briefly. It should have really... I think this is something we can work on a little bit. Just one game through. Just get down there and keep playing. I still love the way Serena used to go about the change of the beginning of a set. She walked the other side. She didn't go near the umpire. She went round the other way. Just kept the game moving. This shouldn't be a drinks break, so to speak. We shouldn't have music playing.
I'm going to take the other side of that coin, because back in our day when dinosaurs roamed the earth, when we were on tour, Todd, we would stop at the 1-0. It was a change of ends, and we would have a chance to get a drink.
Right.
Given how physical the game is today, maybe they shouldn't have a minute in there. I can certainly understand that point, but I don't see anything wrong with them stopping for a quick drink and a towel.
How about this then? If we go that way, which I can accept, we open the doors and let the people in.
Well, I'm on that train for sure. I think apart from directly behind the court, I think the doors in tennis tournaments should always be open on the sides for people to come and go as they want. You do have to protect the player's vision of where the ball is going to be traveling, right where behind their opponents, those lower box seats. You do have to protect that, I think. But I think that's something that should be trialed at the ATP 250 and WTA 250, those lower tournament levels. I think that should absolutely be trialed because players get used to things. They get used to the videos, they get used to the challenge system, the electronic line calling. They get used to all of that. You just need to give them a little bit of time, but not a choice. That's the difference.
Okay, we've solved something early in 2024, you and I.
Well, I've been saying it for a long time. No, I haven't solved anything yet, but I'll continue to pound the pavement on it because I think fans deserve the ability to be able to go out, use the restroom, grab a drink, and not miss 30 minutes of play for the first 3 games of the second set, potentially. That's silliness.
Agreed.
Please.
Yeah, the video screen was still on the replay, and that was disturbing Team Spain, so called for a little break, and I'll get reset. Another good spot serve with pace from Hurkacz. That one at 201K. Not particularly fast by his standard, but perfectly placed.
He's certainly not afraid to use the drop shot, Davidovich Fokina. Probably has one of the best drop shots in the men's game, too. It's almost like a tennis drill, wasn't it?
Yeah, I like that one. Players move so well laterally across the court in this era, but yes, they move well forward, but it's about what shot production they have when they're brought forward, and you can see he wasn't exactly comfortable that second time round there, Hurkacz. You play a good point, though, and then he bombs one at you, and you have no answers. This is where that pressure builds. You've played a pretty good service game, but you didn't even get to break point, or return game, I should say. You didn't get to break point. Now you've got to come back out and hold again after being down break point in the previous game. You cannot afford to make a mistake when you're Davidovich Fokina.
40-15.
Davidovich Fokina just looking at that sideline to see whether that ball was in or not. Looked like it was going to go wide. Catches the outside edge. Would have been nice for him to hold to love. Hasn't been able to do that in the match thus far. Brings him forward once again, which sets up the passing shot. Apologises as it nicks the net, but that's a nice hold of serve for Davidovich Fokina. Team Spain ahead 2-1 second set. Some great racket work there. See, dropping the racket head below the ball, imparts the spin up and over the shoulder. Racket head speed helps with that. That's the apology on that last point, but there was nothing he really needed to apologise. He'd set the point up beautifully, bringing his opponent forward. We've had a high-quality match here today, day 4, in this Group A. Whoever wins here in this tie today between Team Spain and Team Poland will go through to the quarterfinals as the group winner. Hurkacz has taken the opening set, 6 games to 3 in 31 minutes. And as we have all throughout the United Cup so far, we have had quality tests. Good crowd too in the lower bowl section here today of the RAC Arena on New Year's Day. As both players now make their way back out to get things underway. Hurkacz will be serving. It's Todd Woodbridge in the booth alongside of Jim Kura. Bojana Babusic is courtside with us. The sun, for the next hour or so, will be a little issue on that southern end where Hurkacz is serving.
Return certainly was an issue. Perfectly placed on the line by Alejandro. Just bunted it down the line. And outside edge sets up this one. Hurkacz, because he's so tall, he can hit the big, hard, flat serve out wide over the high part of the net in that ad court pretty comfortably, and he's been going there more than the down the middle serve. All of his aces in the ad court have come out wide with big, flat ones.
Just starting to sense a little bit of an energy shift for Davidovich Fokina. He's got a little bit of pep in his step at the moment.
That'll give him a big pep, Bojana. Great second serve return there. And for the first time in the match, Davidovich Fokina with break points, 2 of them. Another second serve opportunity.
Davidovich just standing very deep to return this one as well.
Oh, and he gets the break out of nowhere.
Team Spain 3 against 1 second set.
I like that idea of standing deep to return that second serve in the deuce court.
On the second serve.
On the second serve.
Because I had a question to you. He's been standing up quite tight on the first serve and blocking the ball back. And almost on that time there, when the sun got in the way, it's back too quickly, and he hasn't kind of caught the ball there. Nice change up.
Yeah, it's very situational. You can't really do that effectively in the ad court because Hurkacz will kick serve you off the court and then you're out of position. But in the ad, he likes to go more backhand. Beautifully done there, and that's more through the middle of the court, so you can do what Davidovich Fokina did. De-risk your return, make sure you make it, and then get on the front foot, which he did beautifully to take that break. Both of these guys really good at closing off sets when they get an early break of serve. And Davidovich perfect when he gets to the net so far today, 8 for 8.
Well, he played some seriously good mixed doubles in the opening match against Brazil. I thought I was actually surprised that you haven't seen him do better on the doubles court. He was natural, was instinctive, he knew when to intercept, and whenever he got a volley that was above the net, it was dispatched, never came back, which is an indicator of quite a good doubles play. So then the net games there just doesn't necessarily use it as often as he could. Master caught the outside edge.
Both players seem to think this ball was out. Let's take a look on the close call here. Right in the middle of the line. That's it. I mean, Davidovich's reaction was really interesting. He stood and stared at this thing for quite some time. But that was spot on. Just admiring his handiwork, and how about that beautiful two-hander.
A great picture of the preparation that you were talking about earlier.
No, didn't hear anything. It's got to be good. That's what they're telling themselves in the team zone.
Kind of hurts when you watch that, doesn't it? There it is. Nice serve and volley to close out the game from Davidovich Fokina, and he's raced away to a 4-1 lead in this second set. Team Poland have taken the first.
Let's go to break.
Well, Boyana, that was a nice turnaround, those couple of games from Davidovich Fokina.
Absolutely, and it started with a few more approaches to the net, and that's a sign of confidence, you know, when you serve and volleying and able to produce those types of points. And And I touched on it a couple of games earlier, just the energy from Davidovich Fokina has just shifted a little bit, and Hurkacz at the moment just looks a little bit flat. I mean, he doesn't show a lot of emotion as it is anyways, but it's just that different shifts of momentum happen so often in tennis.
Well, Hubert Hurkacz was in nice control of this match at 6-3, 2-1. He'd had a break point in the opening game, and then there's been a shift in momentum. Davidovich Fokina getting the break to serve, playing two very clean games in game 3 and 4, and then 5 of this set. Now to be able to maintain that will be the key. He's doing a very good job at mixing up the play with some controlled aggression, Davidovich Fokina, isn't he? And it's all started with the use of that short slice backhand to bring Hurkacz off the baseline, and then he's able to really manipulate the moving patterns. Good tactics from the Spaniard.
See Fokina standing in close to cut off the big kick wide. More excellent control of the play from Alejandro. That time the forehand drop shot getting the job done. Making some nice adjustments, isn't he?
Isn't it interesting to watch throughout the set how both players adjust, and at the moment it's all in the favour of Davidovich Fokina. He's throwing in those slices off both sides, as you touched on, Jim, but also the different positioning from the return, and Hurkacz maybe not getting a few first serves in, allowing Davidovich Fokina to attack. Also seems like he's reading the first serve a little bit better too.
He's certainly in command here. Triple break point for a double break.
Wait, please.
The breaks to love. Goodness me.
Now, he is in command here. And he is in full command of his backhand wing. We've talked about how beautiful this shot is. Look at the early preparation here. The strings are always facing the ball. There's no need to make an adjustment with the angle of the racket. It's just drive straight through. And he does it beautifully. That one ended up spot on the line. Misses that one, but he is a master of simplicity on that two-handed wing.
And interesting, he has a very good, solid change-up with the slice backhand, and he's been able to get himself back in this match here by using that shot today.
13.
He's discombobulated. Hurkacz, 11 unforced errors this set against only 3 winners, Todd.
Well, he's not necessarily used to being pushed around the court as much as this, would he be?
And pulled inward with
Yeah.
that short slice. We're interested to see if Hurkacz can somehow stay in this set here. What kind of discussion he and his team have about how to figure out the serving problem he's somehow encountered. Normally holds serve at a very high level. Not this set.
Well, it's not percentages. It's just that Davidovich Fokina has been reading it, getting racket on ball and back into play. 76% of first serves in for Hurkacz. Still good. But these are break points. This would change the momentum a little. Poof. There's no fault being called. Catches the outside edge of the line. Big second serve. There it is.
Hurkacz does not think that the mark on the court matches what he just saw in virtual reality. That's not going to improve his mood. He's had quite a few balls tick the tape off of the net and go against him, either hitting first serves that would have made their mark out or ground strokes that have ended up back on his side of the net. They still break point. Well, that's going to fluster him for sure.
He does get one of those breaks back, though. That's a momentum changer. He's still down a break. Team Spain 5-2, second set.
Team Spain lead 5 games to 2, second set.
Well, earlier we were taking a look at some of the surf beaches that are close to the heart of the CBD in Perth, but we're now going to move up the coast, some 2,000 kilometres north of Perth, and you'll find yourself in Broome, to one of the most picturesque beaches in the world. It is Cable Beach, and some of the most magnificent sunsets. You're quite out there on your own. There's enough beach for you to escape and not see another person. And if you want to take a ride on a camel, you can do that, Jim. It's got one of the famous sun pictures. It's an open air picture cinema garden, which opened back in 1916. You can still do that. Also known for its pearl diving. But the tennis world is focused on the United Cup to start the season. Played simultaneously in Perth and Sydney with the groups. Quarterfinals will be played in each city, and then the semi-finals will be in Sydney, with the finals over the next week.
Well, now you know. There you go. What is that, bolt 6?
Time.
If it was like this far out.
Hurkacz still talking about the ball that he thought didn't capture the edge of the line. But he's not the sort of player, Jim, that temperament will let him down.
No, and he captured the break of serve in spite of that. So he's still in the set, but still far down on the count, serving 2-5 and up into the sun. He has new balls to serve with. Something different, a serve and volley from Hurkacz, and pounds that volley away.
Tough.
And for someone who has such a great first serve like Hurkacz, is that something that you'd like to see more, or use more, develop more into his game, that serve volley, and win a few more free points?
It's a good asset to have as an option. It's not his first option, but if a player is blocking returns back, you can certainly dissuade them from doing that with serve and volleying like that. Well, frankly, this is such an anomaly for him to be having trouble holding serve. He was number 4 on tour in 2023 in holding serve, and to have his serve taken twice in a set, that's unusual. And that's a credit to his opponent. Starting to pick up on his serve, getting his racket on a lot of returns. Don't you think every player, Leona, should have that option at their disposal to serve and volley if someone's just bunting returns back?
Absolutely. They've got the time. They then have the time to move forward and close in on the net, and it's just adding more pressure on their opponent.
Well, he does get a better hold there, Hurkacz, and now it comes an interesting game. 5-3, had a double break, served for it once. This is where the first couple of points in this game are really crucial for Davidovich Fokina, because he's played some pretty classy tennis to get to this scoreline. He's been aggressive, controlled, has to remain in that mode. That wasn't the best of forehands. That was mistimed. The body swung out of it. And so here is that pressure that we were alluding to. That's a good response.
Davidovich Fokina has had trouble holding leads at times, most famously at Wimbledon when he was playing Holger Rune last year. Had a couple of match points, led big in the final set tiebreak, and just couldn't quite hang on and couldn't quite play his standard tennis. He absolutely got so tight, it just overwhelmed him. No problem with that one. That's a big delivery.
Well, I think that's the next step for him. To go from 25-20 to 15-10 in the rankings is to be able to have the ability to have a clear mind when he gets under that type of pressure. When you watch him play in those bigger matches, all of a sudden what tactically has got him there vanishes. And so that, to me, says there's a bit of fogginess and uncertainty in the mind.
30 all.
Well played from Hurkacz.
That's a tremendous point from Hurkacz. Incredible. And I love the reaction from Davidovich at the end of it, too. His momentum carries him over towards the team Poland zone. And he just had a wry smile to the captain and coach on Team Poland's bench as he went by on his route to the towel. But it was a nice, relaxed reaction, not one of anger, but more appreciation for the play of his opponent. But here's a tense moment all of a sudden. Second serve at 30 all.
Catch pulls off and out of that forehand, nets it, and that gives Davidovich Fokina and Team Spain set point. Opportunity to level this match. Yes, that was brilliant. There's no doubt about it. Alejandro Davidovich Fokina looking for applause, and he gets it as Team Spain level here at the RAC Arena.
Safe to say you'd call that drop shot clutch.
It was a little risky, but it was perfection, wasn't it? We got the second set summary here. And it was a set of wonderful returning from Davidovich Fokina.
Yeah, he was all over both the first and second serve of Hurkacz. For Hurkacz to only win 54% when he makes a first serve means you're doing something unbelievably well. And Fokina definitely was. 14 winners against just 10 unforced errors in the set. Lots of aggression and versatility and variety. It was excellent. That was a high level. And Hurkacz now is going to have to find a little more first serves in play, it looks like, and then find a way to get control of the rallies, because at the moment, Davidovich is upending the win predictor, that's for sure. It was 70% for Hurkacz at the beginning of the match. It will change a little bit, I would imagine, from there.
And it was the ability to throw in, not necessarily a drop shot, but a ball that stayed low to bring his opponent forward, get him off the baseline, which then allowed the Spaniard the opportunity, that shot there, to be able to start getting Hurkacz moving from side to side. Well, we've seen two very clean sets of tennis from Hurkacz and Davidovich Fokina to be here level at a set apiece. And that was that set point. Yes, Maestro, you deserve the applause. That was wonderful touch and feel and a very well played set. I think now the issue is to maintain that level, because that was so clean for such a long period of time. He had two breaks to serve, lost one. Tactically, very astute. And now you've got to remain at those levels, because you come off them ever so slightly against a Hurkacz. His serve gets him through, and then he can build pressure that we spoke about in that opening set. So it will be Hurkacz to start us off here at set 3.
30-15.
Half a dozen aces now for the match for Hurkacz. And a much better and quick hold of serve. Question for you, Jim, on Hurkacz's serve here today. He's serving on average just over 200 kilometres an hour. Just under, in fact, 199. Fastest serve of the day is 214. Would you say that he keeps a little bit in and that he could get out after it more?
It all depends on where he's serving, doesn't it? If he goes up the middle over the low part of the net with a flat serve, that's when he's going to hit his big numbers. He's hit at 214 today. That's his fastest. But if he goes out wide, he's taking pace off and trying to slice it wide and try and hit it short in the court. So that's when his speed will drop down. So it's never really only about speed, right? Location is more important ultimately than speed. You don't have, remember, Roger Federer never had the biggest serve, not even close. Novak Djokovic doesn't have the biggest serve, not even close. But their precision and then their ability to back it up with the shots after it makes it incredibly difficult to break. Hurkacz holds serve so much because he also has the speed, and typically his precision's good, his variety's good, and his ability, because of his height, to hit in short corners of the court is better than most. But Fokina has offset that by standing up on the baseline and blocking him exceptionally well today. Now it's his turn to hold serve.
And he has that little added extra pressure of having to serve second in the set too. It's a massive difference when you've got when you are facing somebody like a Hurkacz. So the advancement to net by Hurkacz doesn't pay off, but it does build pressure as the set moves along.
So I mentioned, Todd, that Davidovich Fokina has taken a very aggressive court position to return the first serve of Hurkacz, standing almost on top of the baseline and holding a block grip, a volley grip, and just trying to get the ball in play. Now, one way to combat that, if you're Hurkacz, he's got the big firepower, is to go huge flat first serves at the body. Haven't seen him do much of that yet. It's so tactical, the server versus the returner. It's like a penalty kick in soccer or football where, you know, the returner is trying to figure out how to just get a hand on the ball and get it back into play in any way they can. And the server's trying to kick it through the post. Hurkacz at this point might need to go right at the body. I think he should.
Lovely variety from Davidovich Fokina. He'd gone away from the slice for 15, 20 minutes and has brought it back in there. It allows him to get Hurkacz to hit the slice, and from there his footwork's so good he can start to then push the Polish player into the corners of the court. It's a very, very good tactic for him here today.
It was a little different there. Davidovich stood in to return the second serve in the deuce court, something he hasn't been doing much. And he paid a price. That second serve got onto him pretty quickly, and it was pretty pacey.
Dispatches with the overhead, another comfortable hold to serve for Hurkacz. Team Poland in the lead, 2-1 final set in this opening singles.
Well, that was a great example there from Hurkacz in his ability of when he does get that first serve in, how many free points he can win. Almost like those 1-2 punches. So seemed to have found a bit more range off that serve in that last game.
And a great effort by Spain to keep themselves in this one. Hubie, top 10 player with his partner, the world #1, Igor Świątek. Favourites here today.
Jim and Todd, did you ever have the fortune of having your name written on your tennis shoe?
I think Jim did.
I did not.
No, you didn't?
It's never too late.
It's not true, Bojana. I actually used a Sharpie once.
Original.
He signed his own shoe.
Whatever works.
I was just trying to get people to stop stealing them out of the locker room. Watch out for those 5-finger discounts in the locker room people like to take.
I don't think you're my size there.
Huh? No, definitely not.
So here we go. Davidovich Fokina serving from the southern end. We'll have an issue with the sun as we approach midday here in Perth. 1-2, third set.
15 all.
I'd be disappointed with that return. Had a great play off that backhand. Look at those opportunities. That was one miss there for Hurkacz.
I feel like this is that time when you don't want to experiment in matches, but sometimes you need to, right? If you're trying to change things up. And this is the time where I think Hurkacz needs to start to, on these return games, build a bit of rush and bluff and see whether he can get a few unforced errors out of Fokina. And if he doesn't work here, but it will work as you get to the back end of the set. And we've already explained that that's not his nature. It's not the way he goes about it, but it's the perfect occasion to try and implement it. That's what you can get when you start to build that type of pressure. It's another hold, though, for Team Spain, all level, 2-all.
Good energy coming from the team zone for Team Spain. They know how vital this match is for them with the specter of Swiatek in the women's singles coming up next. Very unlikely they can get a win there, so they've got to have it here and then take the mixed doubles if they want to advance.
Yeah. There's that volley I was talking about we saw in the mixed in the opening day. Anything above the net, he has the ability to dispatch. And that's an indicator of me as somebody that's very good technically with their volleys. Look at the way he gets the racket head through, takes it down to the target. Shoulder rotation and wonderful movement. You see when he contacts the ball. When he made contact with the ball, he continued to come forward to the net. Everything technically great with his volleys. Just needs to use them more, utilize them more as a weapon.
Just noticed in the last game and a half, Hurkacz throwing in a few unforced errors. He made 3 backhand errors in the previous game. Another loose forehand error. So real opportunity for Davidovich Fokina now.
That was the fastest serve of the match from Hurkacz, and it came back with a beautiful return. And Hubie did very well to survive that point. 30-all, still not out of the jam, but a lot better than 15-40 from his lens.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that was hot. Have a look at this. Rotate the shoulders, little backswing and block. That return came back with interest, and that's a break point.
Another good save there from Team Poland. Hurkacz, 1,000 aces last season, and he's had 7 today. But he would have had a lot more against a lot of other players today. These guys have played now 6 times, and Davidovich seems to be able to get a bead and a read on where he's going with his first serve. He's just in position far more often than you would expect. Going to go back to return the second serve, buy himself some time, try and get control of the rally as the Spaniard. That was close.
He's going to see how close it was. Forced error. That's an important hold for Hurkacz. He'll start building pressure. Team Poland have 3-2, final set. Buana, you can just start to feel that the tension mounting here in the third set, and the crowd feeling it too.
Well, there's a lot on the line here, Todd. I mean, it's an important match to get this tie underway, and it no doubt adds a little bit of anticipation for the next match as well, the women's singles. So I think we're all feeling it. I'm sitting on the edge because there have been a number of opportunities for both players to take a lead in this third set, but neither yet capitalising. So it's almost like we're waiting for one of these players just to step up and take this third set away.
Well, it's interesting you say that, because I feel like I agree with you, but I feel like it's because the quality's actually been really good, and you may be waiting for that one player just to come off the level with something, and who's it going to be is the question. Wonder how Davidovich Fokina is going to respond as he comes out to serve here. Start to get to that real important part of the set after having a break point there in the 5th game. You know you're not going to get too many, and sometimes you have to be able to absorb that disappointment, Buana, if you are going to come through. And now he's got that pressure of having to serve second as well.
And that's where the first 2 points are crucial for Davidovich Fokina, just to get on top and not let that breakpoint opportunity get the better of him. Although he didn't do too much wrong on that breakpoint. You have to give credit to Hurkacz. He really served his way out of trouble there.
Davidovich Fokina for Team Spain, getting ready to serve. It's on serve here in the third set, 2-3.
It's like stealing one for Hurkacz. That was a horrible drop shot, but he had a great flick reaction lob that got the job done. Last 2 games for these tennis balls before there'll be new ones brought into play, so they'll be at their slowest right now, which means it's slightly tougher to get value with your serve. Easier to break serve now for both of these guys.
to let off.
15.
That's a different location on second serve. Jammed him on the forehand side. Hurkacz wasn't looking for it.
Point in terms of ball striking from both players, that one. Now comes a big point. 2-3, 30 all. Frustration for Hurkacz, but how clever from Davidovich Fokina with the hands to take pace off the ball, Jim.
Well, we were rightfully applauding Hurkacz's soft hands in his match prior, and he comes up with a gem of an off half volley here. But then the Spaniard comes up here and confounds him with that little flick. That was fantastic from Fokina. Yeah, frustrating for Hurkacz. Big difference there. 40-30 instead of a break point.
Davidovich Fokina rather was applauding. He thought he'd made it, but it goes long. And again, using that ball to bring the 6'6" Hurkacz forward is paying dividends. He wasn't applauding his own point there. He thought he'd lost it. Then he apologises.
It's a three-set affair, but it's moving pretty quickly. Only an hour and 43 minutes of play to get to this point. So rather speedy affair.
Just grows such an appreciation for how clean these players hit the ball. So much pop on the ball, but then the slice and hearing the cut on the ball is just So nice to hear.
That was another good stab return, wasn't it, to get that into play off the single-handed backhand from Davidovich Fokina.
It's another example of if Hurkacz was comfortable with a serve and volley, he would have won that point quite easily with a high volley or even an overhead potentially.
Yeah.
Thank you.
He's had one break point in this set already, Davidovich Fokina, and here is another two. Just get that feeling, if he gets the ball back into play, the chances of winning the point have grown exponentially throughout this match, and he's done a great job of returning the serve.
A wide serve would be wise here from Hurkacz. Start with an advantage positionally, get Fokina off the court with your serve. Even if he makes it back, you're in control. Well, body serve does the damage. We've been asking for that for a while. Haven't seen one till now, really, on the first serve. That was unexpected from the Spaniards' lens.
And 2:17.
Matches his fastest of the day. Same thing holds here. A wide serve, better than a T serve, the way that Fokina's been returning.
And he goes T, and he pays the price. There's the break to Team Spain. 4-3, third set.
Team Spain lead 4 games to 3 final sets.
Seems to have a great balance, doesn't he, Davidovich Fokina, in terms of choosing when to step in and give those returns a good aggressive hit and when to just get the ball back in play. And that was a perfect example on that break point. Just choosing to force the play, draw Hurkacz into the net, and then rely on that backhand to win him the point.
Well, this has been a textbook match by Alejandro Davidovich Fokina in how to tactically break down an opponent. He has understood the strengths and weaknesses of Hurkacz's game, and today has, to this point at least, been able to get himself back into a match from a set down. Temperament's been good. And now comes the mental part, though, whether he's got the ability to finish it off. We've spoken about sometimes where he's had a few issues with that. Keeping calm, keeping composed, and doing tactically what he's done to get to this point. 2 service games is all that is required from him. He's got the benefit of serving with new balls here from the southern end of RAC Arena. Well, at the beginning of this match, Jim, the win predictor was heavily favouring Hurkacz. 70-30. We said, oh, it's a bit closer than that. And have a look where it's spun to now.
30 love.
More firepower off the ground strokes on both wings from the Spaniard, and it's paid a big dividend. He's been able to control a lot of the play at the baseline and also be more versatile with the slices and the drop shots. It's been a more well-rounded game coming from the red shirt. And that net has been very unkind to Team Poland. Many times that has happened. In fact, twice this game alone, the net has robbed Hurkacz of his target.
And the scoreline certainly subdued the Polish fans here today.
We'll have something to cheer soon.
They won't.
World #1 on the WTA Tour about to take the court here at the end of this match, representing Poland. I think they'll be okay for a bit.
That was an interesting second serve ball toss there.
He was trying to get it away from the sun, wasn't he?
Absolutely he was. He'd throw it right out to the right, had to chop around it. 2 minutes to midday here in Perth. Yeah, he's just trying to find a place where it doesn't.
Doesn't give him sunspots.
Yeah, exactly. You throw it up there, as soon as you look in, as soon as the ball's back at you,
Yeah,
it's still
so,
blurry.
So this won't be to the backhand. Yeah, definitely not. He just can't get it there. That's a bad miss from Hurkacz. And Team Spain within a game of taking a lead here in this tie.
That was, if the two ends that you're hoping to break, that was the one you had your best chance, I think, if you're Hurkacz with that sun option. He glances up, but he has no issues from the northern end.
Team Spain requesting a review of the call on the right serve.
Yes.
He's just so efficient with his court movement, isn't he? Davidovich Fokina puts himself in position every single time.
But he does so well, Bojana, with the way that he can't make a pass off the first one, so he throws it down low and then allows for the next one to make the pass. Huge. 2-12 out wide. It's the only way he can get the free point at the moment is with the ace. If Davidovich Fokina gets the racket on ball, he's got everything back in play today. Just like that, being able to block the ball deep, get himself set within the point. And with that unforced error, Team Spain have match point.
Deuce.
That was an interesting reaction on the missed return on match point from Davidovich Fokina. You could see the tension if Hurkacz can get out of this game. It's going to be an interesting 10th game if he serves for it. And there's another reaction, Bojana. It tells you that he wants it done, and that this is one of the key things about him that we see, where it gets tough for him to finish matches.
Well, he had the backhand. That's his go-to shot, isn't it? He'd set it up perfectly with the return, got the ball back into play, just wasn't able to execute. And there goes another opportunity.
Hurkacz survives a match point. Clench of the fist. Can Davidovich Fokina serve it out? We'll find out after this break. 5-4.
So I feel like we've been building up to this point, Todd. This is what it all comes down to, isn't it?
Yep. And this is, I think, what Jim laid out a little earlier, where finishing matches has not been one of the easier parts on occasion for Davidovich Fokina. And you could see the reactions there when he was so close. He wanted it done, and he starts to think and get ahead of himself a little.
Well, he rushes, doesn't he?
Yes.
And
he goes off of the pace and the timings that got him to this point.
Yep. You can almost see it on his face. It's just... He's just trying to compose himself a little bit.
Yeah, look at the hands there. It's just like settle, settle. And
take a deep breath.
He doesn't want the coach saying too much to him, but in a way, he needs to listen. Some interesting pictures in this changeover. Alejandro Davidovich Fokina just looking a little tense, stressed, telling his captain coach just to, you know, keep it, the chat to a minimum, please, as he gets ready to make his way out to see if he can serve this important first match of this tie out. 5-4. Had a match point in the previous game on Hurkacz's serve. That's at this point, you need to remain relaxed, focused, continue the play that has got you to this point. It's been good tennis from the Spaniard. First point becomes crucial for him here in the 10th game. And well played.
Well, he certainly waited for the right opportunity, didn't he? Davidovich Fokina. Worked to that forehand cross-court, got Hurkacz on end range.
Now that one there, he gets the heavy spin to jump the ball out take his opponent out of court. Gets a short reply, remains calm, dispatches it well.
I don't know about you, Todd, but I'm feeling nervous. I can feel how uneasy Davidovich Fokina is feeling right now.
And you know that Hurkacz on screen now can also sense that.
Yep.
His job is to basically keep the ball in play and don't do anything crazy just at this point. See what the opponent can come up with. That doesn't help. That's an unforced error, really.
30-15.
And another gift from Hurkacz. Off the backhand wing gives Davidovich Fokina and Team Spain 2 more opportunities to close out this opening match of this tie. He gets it. Wonderful win for Alejandro Davidovich Fokina and Team Spain. And it'll go down to his team, Davidovich Fokina, and they'll be very pleased indeed. That is a great comeback after dropping the first set 6 games to 3 in 31 minutes. And he extends that head-to-head lead to 4-2 against the world number 9. And so, in a moment's time, it'll be the world number 1, Iga Świątek, that is going to have to come out and level things for Team Poland. Sara Sorribes-Tormo of Spain will be her opponent. And given their head-to-head, Świątek's won comfortably on 2 occasions, both in 2023. The mixed doubles could be very interesting and enticing. But let's hear from Alejandro. Here's with Jim.
Well, Alejandro, first of all, Happy New Year's and congratulations for a terrific match. You were down 1 set. What was the key for you to turn this match around and get the win?
Well, first of all, Happy New Year, everyone. Thank you for coming the 1st of January. And the second thing, you know, it's a very great player. He's top 10. And the first set was he was serving very good, very hard, and you know, he did the break like very easy. He did a couple of shots very good, and you know, the set went for him for 2 details. And after the second and the third set, it was like we were playing very good, and you know, this match can be for him too. But I think I put more I don't know what more something. More hard, more something, and you know, I'm very happy for the win.
You seem to be able to be in the right position against his serve. It's one of the very best serves in men's tennis. Do you read the ball toss? Do you guess? How do you always be in the right place, basically, for his first serve?
No idea.
No idea?
No, I mean, you know, I have to 50-50. You know, if maybe he was playing more to my backhand or more to my forehand, depends of the time of the set, but you know, it was like 50-50 chance.
It's time for you to go to the casino, my man. You're on fire. You'll need to stay on fire because your day might not be done yet. Sarah is going to play Iga. That's a tough matchup. You guys played mixed doubles well a couple days ago. Are you ready to go for another match if you need to?
Always. It's a pleasure to be here, to play for Spain and to play mixed doubles with Sarah. It's an honor for me, and you know, we will have fun for sure. And at the end, it will be deciding point if Sarah lost or if Sarah win. No, but if Sarah loses, it's going to be the deciding point for quarterfinals.
So we'll put the casino off for a moment. We'll wish Team Spain and Alejandro best of luck. Terrific, terrific tennis so far today.
Well, I'm not sure I believe totally, and it was 50-50. He seemed to have a pretty good read on the Hurkacz serve. It was if he didn't want to give anything away, Bojana.
Oh, he was just, I think he's just being a modest tennis player. But no, I agree, Todd. I think he's played now against Hurkacz 6 times, so he's got a pretty good idea of the patterns that he serves, and he just executed really well today and showed some versatility, moved well and forced the error. So another really good win for Davidovich Fokina.
Absolutely. As we take a look at the match summary and we look at the serves percentages that we like to talk about so much, 75% of first serves in for Hubert Hurkacz in this match, and he still doesn't come away with a victory. That tells you how well the return was coming back into play. Well, you take a look at the winners. 18 overall to only 6 for Hurkacz. That's a big differential. And when you've got more unforced errors and less winners, generally the winner will be your opponent. And that was Alejandro Davidovich Fokina here today. So it is Team Spain who have the first point in this tie. It'll be up to Iga Swiatek to see if she can level. She'll be out on court here at the RAC Arena in a few moments' time. And we're looking forward to that one.